Hello, sweet souls. It's DTO, and welcome to my 5Q interview podcast. This is where I connect with artists, visionary leaders, as well as souls that are on a roll, focusing on their purpose, their divine path, and sharing beautiful art in the world. And today I get to interview Lisete Alcalde, who is a visual artist from Mexico, whose work deeply connects with Mother Earth, the realms of aliens, and the invisible energies that cannot be seen but are profoundly felt. Through her art, Lisette creates a bridge between the earthly and the cosmic, exploring spiritual and vibrational dimensions that transcend the physical. Lisette's paintings invite viewers to feel these hidden forces, generating a connection beyond the visual, where art becomes a channel for the unexplainable. And here is a beautiful example of Lisette's art. You can see her website up above, lisetealcalde.art. And I do want to present who I am. I am DTO. I am an award-winning producer based out of Costa Rica. My partner Himalaya and I have a beautiful wellness and retreat center called Embody. And here are some images of our venue where there's retreats, yoga, workshops, and beautiful experiences. And I invite everyone to take a look at our center. It is embodycostarica.com. And without further ado, let's bring on Lisette Alcalde. How are you today?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
So wonderful. I love your introduction of bridging all of these energies from the earthly realms into the cosmic realms. And every time I see your art, that's exactly what I think about and really what I feel. And it also evokes curiosity in me. Like, well, who are we? Like, for my name, DTO means Dave the organism, right? Like, I'm this living organism on this earthly realm. But then I have all these ideas and I have this expansion of my consciousness when I think about the cosmos and I think of this greater world and place and space that we're in. And so what I love for what you're creating is a pathway and a method that you have found to express yourself as an artist, just like how I express myself with my music, where
Mhm.
we get to kind of have that be the ingredients that can create a recipe of self-expression, where then when people see that or they listen to it, there's this extra sense of feeling and purpose that they can maybe, finally remember about who they are. And here's a beautiful image of you painting.
Mhm.
Beautiful piece there. You can see, of course, the Egyptian influence, and wow, so powerful. And the intro that I just read is available on your website. So everyone that would like to see that. And I do want to remind everyone that we are live streaming. So in case you have any questions, you can comment, you can share. And for the algorithms, even if you just place an emoji, you can, of course, support this podcast being seen by more people. And we already have a few people viewing right now from YouTube. So thank you for joining us today. Okay, this is a 5Q interview. So let's start off with the first question. So every superhero has an origin story, right? Once upon a time, you were born and you were this little girl and you got to see with your own eyes art. So explain to us how you grew up and how art was a part of your life growing up.
Yes. Well, I have a very interesting upbringing since I was like very small child. I was pretty like sensitive in the way of like I was just too sensitive with life itself, and my mom is like, even she was like, oh, this kid is kind of like interesting, like just very sensitive in the way of like viewing life, and then these random questions always pops out like, who are we, what are you came here for, why are we humans? So my mom was just kind of like, oh, she's interesting. So I started to just like being very conscious of myself since I was like very small. And as I was growing up, I start with just like watching bodies, and I just like I was very interested in like the human body. Like it was just kind of like, oh my god, our bodies are so like interesting, and our muscles inside, and the intestine and the head and the brain, just like kind of like want to look what do we have inside. So until I was maybe I painted all my life, like just like like just like randomly like painted. I wasn't very passionate about painting until I was like maybe 16, 17 years old. I went to a very bad depression. I was just kind of like, you know what, life doesn't mean nothing to me. Like what we come here for, why people work for money, why we have to go to church, it's just all these questions. And I was just kind of like, no, I just don't like it a lot. And then my mom was very concerned about me, and she took me to the psychologist, and she's like, my kid is like depressed, and she's like a teenager. So the doctor told me, you should do something creative. And I was just kind of like, I don't know. And he's like, you should paint. And I was just like, yeah, I mean, I paint, I draw and stuff, but okay. So when I started painting, when my psychologist told me like, oh my god, you should just show your emotions from there, like just like whatever you feel, just put it in a canvas. So I started painting like with an intention then. And I was like literally like I opened a door, and I literally just find happiness and find all the answers. I understood everything about myself. It was just like yeah, it's like I step in another world of like, oh my god, this is how I'm gonna communicate with my inner self through painting, because my brain couldn't understand a lot of things, but through painting and no words was my language of like seeing what I have inside and like understand myself, because I couldn't understand why I was so different since I was like little. And I was always like, my brothers are like, you're so weird, you're so weird. And I could understand and love myself then when I started like painting when I was like 16, 17 years old. And I was like, oh my God, this is what I have to do all my life. This is my answer.
Oh, I love that so much. Yeah, yeah, you had the guidance and you had someone that came in as a yeah, just someone on the outside. Like I think
Yeah.
objectivity is a really powerful part of art. Like we are the subjects, like we are in our own
Yeah.
bodies, we're our own souls, right? Like as I said, I'm Dave the organism, we're in these bodies. And yeah, that's how I've had my um, experiences too. Like for me, when I saw a school counselor, a psychologist, it was actually because my parents
Hmm.
divorced, and it was like, okay, where are you going to put all that energy, right? Like for you, it sounds
Yeah.
like your mom was concerned. Your mom was like, hey,
Yeah.
that you have a lot of questions and curiosity. So that's beautiful that you were directed in that way. So my second question is, so what was your original creation, or what were some of the themes or the styles of your original paintings that you were doing when you were a teenager?
It was bodies, like the bodies, but with no head. I started painting like bodies, but like with a lot of like butterfly wings. I started my all my paintings were like always big, like never small. I couldn't paint that. I was like big canvases, and I was just kind of like in a little like a big sheet. I was just like painting, and I was always painting women with butterfly wings and no heads. It was kind of super funny because I couldn't paint a head. It was just always just the body. And it was just very interesting because I started like that, and I was just, for me, it was just kind of like the chest and the whole thing, but not heads. And then when I started like painting more and more and more, I start putting like faces to my paintings as I became more like in touch with myself and then more understanding myself. And then I start with like eyes and stuff, but always close eyes. And then all of a sudden, a couple of years passed, and I opened my eyes and I start doing like faces and all the body.
Mhm.
But it was just always like just the wings, and then just no heads and no eyes for sure. I was just like, no way, I'm never gonna paint the face. And it was just like it came like that. It was kind of funny. Like right now, I even think about it. I never thought about like I never painted heads and faces and eyes, no way. And then all of a sudden my eye opened and I was just kind of like seeing the world in another way, you know?
Mm.
So yeah, that's, but just
Well,
always bodies.
yeah. That's wonderful because it's like when I read your intro, you talked about like you're bridging the earthly realms to the cosmic realms, right? So
Yeah,
how do we begin as human beings? Like, we have these bodies, we have our feet on the ground, we have, like our chakras, right? We have our root chakra and it goes up
yeah,
here. And maybe since you were still in this like questioning, you're just trying to probably get in your body. It's almost
yeah,
like your own consciousness and your evolution and your understanding of this journey as a human
yeah,
being. You're like, okay, now we deserve to have the heads, because, and also
yes.
let's admit that the organ inside of our head is the one that gets us overthinking, creating problems
Oh,
that
yeah,
wouldn't have existed. But if we're in our heart and if we're in our bodies,
yes.
we feel like
Everything
grounded.
is safe. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was very funny like that. And yeah, I don't understand. And I also always like, always wings. And then I start to paint. One time my mom came to me and she said, Uh, can I ask you something? Can you paint me what do I mean to you? Like I'm your mom, and because my mom and me are so close to me, we're just best friends. So
Mm-hmm.
she's like, can you paint a painting of what do I mean to you? And I start to paint the very famous painting that I have of a Mother Earth that she's praying, and she is
Mm.
Gaia and Mother Earth, and I painted that for her, and I gave it to that to her, and then all of a sudden a couple years later, it was like a viral painting that I have, and I was just kind of like, "Oh my god, that's so funny! It's super old." And yeah, that was my meaning of what my mom and Mother Earth meant to me, and it was just kind of like, "Whoa!" It blew away. Until this day, I find them everywhere.
Mm. Well, congratulations, get
Yeah,
honoring,
yeah.
that first beginning stages is really powerful in your life.
Yes, yes, yes. And yeah, just the energy that I put in that painting, maybe it's just like how you put, like, really nothing matters, just the energy that you do things, it will like create a seed, and then all of a sudden it will blossom into something, you know. You will not understand that when you do it, but later you're like, "Oh my god, that makes so much sense. I did that to my mom," and everybody connected to Mother Earth, and it's like a viral painting that I have, and it's because I put so much love, because that's my meaning of my mom and Mother Earth, you know.
Mm-hmm. Now, is that
Yeah,
painting on your website so we can have a look at it?
yeah, that's like flowing with the wind is the one, is like the Mother Earth. It's so, oh my god, I painted so long ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's the name is Flowing with the Wind.
Okay.
And yeah, that is, I have a couple of them like there,
Mm-hmm.
and she's like praying, and that was my first one, and I did a couple of them like after that, like the same thing, like kind of like alike.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I love all these themes that you have. A lot of them, you know, I think when you first posted this, I commented because, I'm a piano player. I love how you have
Oh
Earth
yeah,
playing space music. It's fun. And then you have like the elf kind of ears on the person,
yeah,
and then you can see the continents of the planet. Yeah, it's very thoughtful and it's very unique. So I love that you
yeah.
created
I
something
always
that
saw,
has been out there. Mhm.
yeah, I
Go
always
ahead.
saw like Mother Earth. She was like living in the space, and I always saw the space as a male and Mother Earth as as a woman. And this like we're in my mind, like, oh my god, we live in this space, and this, who is the space? And I was just kind of like, the space is male and she lives in the male. So I was always like doing these things with my paintings of like, okay, Mother Earth, she is a girl and she's playing the piano, and the piano is a space, because we're playing the music, we live in the space music, and just kind of like all these things that I'm just kind of like, oh my god, this is crazy.
I love it. It's great. Yeah, and that's like the origin story of how art is created. The beginning, you have an idea, then you question that idea,
Yeah,
and then because you had these ideas when you were younger, then of course, especially if you have a traditional parent, then they're going to think, oh, why are you thinking those thoughts? Because maybe they didn't think like that. But I think if
yeah,
you really interviewed more people and asked, because we have someone that just wrote in the comments, a friend of mine, Shelly. She wrote, beautiful that she loves your story. And she said it's extremely relatable and she sends
Yes.
blessings. So there is this relatability of your story. So I feel like the more you can tell this to people, they might be like, oh, yeah, I was questioning and I thought I was different. And then I
Yeah.
discovered for you, like painting, or for me, music. Then everything started to kind of click into place and make more sense.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Question number
Yes, because
3.
we,
Go ahead.
yes,
No, go ahead.
we as humans, I think we just come to live in this world, but it's really the work that you have with yourself. Like, it's like, okay, you are like a human and you're like all the social, you're a social being, but it's really like, who am I? And this is like going inside and say, okay, if I want to be, if I want to see the world as a beautiful thing, I have to like love myself and look at myself, and if I have questions, answer them for myself. Just like an kind of like a reminder of like, you are the most important thing, and you should be the first thing to like answer your own questions, answer your own like necessities, answer your own, take care of yourself, and then you can be there for the world and kind of like see the blossomy of who you are, and then you will see it as a mirror in the world. Because if you would just work with the world first, what about you, like your questions, your inner work, like that's the most important, so you can see the world as a mirror of you. That's my most like teach for myself, to myself. And then will I will like tell the people like, oh my god, you should take care of yourself first. That's why for me painting was like kind of understanding myself was like the most important thing. But I knew that after, like, oh my god, yes.
Hmm. Yeah, it's a beautiful process, and actually goes into the question of like, sounds like what I'm hearing from you, and you can embellish, but your creative process is like taking care of those necessities within yourself, right? I know you practice yoga, you're out in nature, you go to the oceans. I saw you were in a waterfall, and you're a healthy eater. I saw you have like fresh juices. We've been, connecting on Instagram for a while, and it's really lovely because when we are creators, right, we are part of creation, right? This divine experience. And then when you get into creativity, a
Yeah.
lot of people come to you and say, oh, I wish I could paint like you. How do you do this? What's your process? Or how did you become this artist? So question 3 is like, what kind of routines or rituals do you like to take on in the morning, in the afternoon, the evenings? Some musicians or artists or painters, as you know, they get really creative like late at night, and other people wake up
Oh
early
yeah.
and they have creative. So explain to people like how you as an artist, because I know this is your life's passion, how do you operate as an artist?
Well, in the morning, I wake up. I'm like very early riser, so I wake up super early, and then I drink my coffee, I dance, and then I always have to exercise, like even jump the rope or like take a walk in nature, and then I have to do yoga for like 1 hour and a half. And this practice for me is like becoming so amazing because it's just kind of like it's just the noise in my head shuts down, and it just like I can like be inside and in touch with my body, like because I'm moving at the same time. And I get like a lot of answers. I get like painting idea for paintings. Oh my god, my next painting, I know what it is. And then I meditate for like 15 minutes after I do yoga, and then I go to like the water, the pool, or wherever. I'm always like living in tropical ambience because I just like the hot. And then my family is very important for me, so I'm always in touch with my sister, and she just have a baby, so I like babysit for her and call my mom. I Me and my mom talk to each other every day, and my family is just, it's just my world. So and then after that I paint every day. um and then I super healthy, I just enjoy really life. I take a lot of walks, just kind of like just a lot of time with myself. Like it's very important for me to just be with myself because I go through like a lot of processes because I have this my dream state. I always get like past lives like messages, and there's sometimes they're very painful and triggering. And for me, taking care of those emotional things that I have in the moment, because I don't like to push them behind the carpet for later. I like to deal with them in the moment, because I learned that my nature as an artist is always to be true to myself. And I have some beef with myself, or like some emotional thing that I haven't dealt with. It's just will be like I'm bag that I'm carrying every day, and I'm just not happy. So for me it's very important to deal with those things. Painting, like, okay, I feel like this, let me paint, let me go to the canvas and show what, like, to myself, to process, like with colors and just silent and music, and just be inside, and then I can process emotions like that. So for me it's like very important for me to process everything in the moment every day, as it is, the raw, as sober as I can be. Like that's like my promise to myself. So whatever comes to myself, just deal with it in the moment. So for me, my emotional state of dealing with it every day as the minute comes, no matter what are you doing, I need to, if I feel something, just deal with it. Like step outside, cry, just like just deal with it in the moment. And that works for me so good, because as an artist I'm so like in the present and in touch with what's happening in myself in that moment. So I'm like every day updating my data of like, okay, I clear this, and then something else comes, and okay, I have to deal with this. I have to deal with this fear, or I get triggers every day about things that I don't even understand, but I have to deal with them in the moment. Painting. That's like my only way of how to deal with my human self. So yeah, that's myself, and I always have to paint happy. I have to be in love. I have to be inspired. Just kind of like the positive, the love. I have to show like my love in the canvas as I deal with something emotional in the moment. But my love it has to be there. My passion. So that's very important for me in the day, and I sleep early. I am an early riser. So yeah, I don't drink. I'm pretty healthy, because I just find it very better to deal in this world. I like my suffering raw, like they say. And yeah, and like every day I wake up and I'm like, okay, what do you have for me today? Let's work it. As I'm happy every day. That's my work in this life.
I love that. And I want to just have a quick visual of all these beautiful pieces you've created and these themes. And I love how, because you're taking care of yourself and you're listening to yourself, that you are receiving these ideas of what
Yeah,
is next. And you also get to transmute energies that you're feeling, because, yeah, the world can absolutely feel chaotic at times. And so,
yeah,
from the chaos, how do we bring patterns and routines and, as you know, a flow state
yeah.
where all of a sudden doesn't matter what's happening on the macro, sometimes the micro doesn't matter, because you're just in a flow. Like
Yeah,
whatever happened 3 days ago or whatever happened 3 minutes ago, you're just present in the moment. And that's what
yeah,
I always love when I speak to artists like yourself, because this beautiful piece, you were feeling into the alien energy and the earthly energy and all these other planets that they're mysterious, of how many planets are in the cosmos and how many galaxies and solar systems. So for one brain in one of our heads, it's impossible to feel it all and think of it all. But I love the visuals, because when we see a visual, the saying, a picture's worth 1,000 words. There's so much just in this one single painting that I feel can bring to life a part of us. And I see that you always like to explore the part of you where then you get to learn about yourself, right? That's what I'm
hmm,
hearing from you, is like your creative process is not only to share something that could go viral, as you said, that painting that you see often, or it could just be a part of your day where you're in yoga or you're taking a walk and you're just like, oh, this is the piece that's coming, and it's probably like a lesson for yourself at times. Have you ever seen that be the case where you, as you're painting, you're learning and you're in this flow state?
Oh my God, yes. I learned everything painting. I like my sister. She's a big part of my life, and just like I learned so much of myself and understand how I view the world through painting. And every day, like I learn something about like, oh my God, this. But it's not even in the brain. It's something that is just in your soul. It's like in you, but you don't understand it with your brain and your
Hmm.
words. And sometimes you cannot even explain it, but it's something like, oh my God, oh my God, I got this. And then they're like, explain it. I'm like, I just can't do it because it's just here. It's just something that is happening inside. And it's like so big that you cannot understand it with your brain, less me to explain it to people. So the only way to me to communicate is through my paintings and to colors and to all this magic. And yeah, it's
I
easy
love
for me.
that. Yeah, I had this visual when you were sharing that is, you know, when people are like putting together a puzzle, right? The
Yeah.
rompecabezas. And
Sí.
when you put one piece in, sometimes you're like, oh, did it make a difference? I don't know. But sometimes you put that one piece in and you're like, whoa, I felt that. Like that now
Yes.
everything's clear. Like now I get to
Yes.
see a bigger part of the human journey of what we're here to discover. And sometimes,
Yes.
you know, this, Lisette, it's not finding something new. It's actually just remembering parts of us
Yes.
that
Oh yeah,
maybe
totally.
we're not yet revealed to ourselves in the energy. And you know, I see you as a multidimensional artist because your entire lifestyle is to be an artist and to share this. And I know you're going to be offering a retreat where people that have questions, you can answer that. So let's get into question 4. Because there's been such a beautiful global response to your artwork, how are you receiving that from people? Do you get it like from messages? Do people call you? Do people post on, uh, they reach out to you? So, what are some of the ways that people respond to your art? Like, for example, for me as a musician, I'll get people that send me a message on Instagram. Oh my gosh, this song's amazing. Or I'll get people that call me and they say, hey, I'm running a festival, or come and play and perform. So, how's the response been for your art? And maybe some good examples of some testimonials from people that have shared with you about the impact your art has made for them.
Yeah, I'm very bad in the selling way of like or showing my art. Like the only thing I know as an artist and as a human is to be truthful to myself and show that wherever I can I do. But like do it very natural, just like, okay, here is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm expressing. And I know that the energy of that will impact the right people, and the will right people will come to me with questions or like, oh my God, yeah, I have received so many messages of women and the processes and my paintings help them. And then I'm like, oh my God, this is what I came for in this lifetime, to like heal myself. And with my healing and showing that to the world with my paintings, the fact that women and men heal themselves or can connect with my paintings and heal too, like that's my job as an artist. Like I don't need to sell a million paintings. I don't need to whatever. That's I can die in peace if people can heal with me, with my hand in their hands, with my paintings. That's for me like the most like the boom that I'm like I made it in life. Like just like to be even touched by, if I touch one person, for me is like done enough. And I get all these messages of people or women that are like, oh my God, I just don't understand what it is, but I this painting helped me a lot. And yeah, no, I'm in the philosophy of I like the right people will come to me, and like I get invitation to go like paint to ambition and stuff, but I don't look for them. I wanna like put to my vibration to the world and say, now can you like it can talk to me back without me like seeking. I like to be just like loved by the world with like knocking on my door with these invitations. And then my buyers, they come to me and they buy paintings, but I don't look for them because I know that the mother earth God get me, like she will provide for me. So I'm just like sitting, doing my job as painter and as an artist, as a human. And I know that I will get that back to me as Lisette in this life. So I'm just always like sitting here and waiting for like people to like contact me and invite me, and like all these women that connect with my art, and men. It's just for me just like enough. Like I'm happy. I'm every day I'm like I get up and I'm like I am doing the best I can, and this is perfect. Like whatever I'm doing, because I'm working with myself in the moment, and I see that reflect on me.
And here are some wonderful comments by people on some of your paintings. Yes, beautiful, me encanta. You're an amazing beyond words. So yeah, this is one. I just took another screenshot. Here's some more.
Mhm.
Beautiful. And you have such a global audience. You have Spanish speakers, English speakers.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is just a snapshot. So anyone out there, if you go to Lisette Alcalde on IG, Instagram, you will find all the beautiful paintings, art, and videos that show behind the scenes, very similar to this picture that shows you creating. And then, of course, the final versions that are so lovely. So yeah, the community, right? It's interesting because when we create now in this day and age with the internet, you can get people on all different continents that can
Yes.
message you and say, wow, this really supported me. I actually saw one earlier where a mother was stating that one of your pieces really supported her having a connection with her baby, and
Yes.
and just in
Yes.
the womb, right? Like just her stepping into motherhood and seeing the art. It's like, whoa, this is the purpose of motherhood for her, because sometimes it's not everyone understands, especially if there's
Yeah.
I'll never know in this lifetime, but if there's a baby growing inside you, you're probably like, what is going on?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know you're an auntie, right? You're a tia.
Oh yes.
So
Oh my
I'm sure.
God. That's the best thing that ever happened to me, and I think I can connect with my other lifetimes as being a mom, and I can just like, oh my God, I'm so in touch with like past life remembering in this
Mm,
life, and sometimes they are very painful, and sometimes they're just like, oh my God, I because my sister, I think that she was a baby of mine and in another lifetime. So yeah, she's a big part of myself, and I dream about her so much in my
mm,
dreams. And sometimes she comes as like even like a puppy, or like two pup, like just birds, but I know that's my sister. It's a weird connection. So she's having a baby for me. It was kind of like I'm like having a baby right now. I'm like just all day with her. Whatever she needs, I'm there. I'm like the other mom for sure. Like I even like if I go and see her, I take the baby out and I'm just kind of like working with her. It's just like my life is being a mom now, actually, but I don't have, it's
mhm,
the most important thing. My sister and the baby and my mom, like those are my girls. And I don't really have a lot of friends because my life is so like I have to spend a lot of time with myself.
mm,
I see, like I don't need that. My cup is full with the love that I have, the family, the support that I have with my girls. That I don't really need like other kind of connections. They come and they're natural, but that I'm just like so full with my girls in my life, and we're so close that I'm just so
mhm,
blessed.
mm. So lovely. Yeah. And it sounds like, as you said, like you being an aunt gives you this extra sense of remembering who you are now, but as you said, in prior lifetimes and in the future, and you get to have like all these collapsed timelines where then you're just present to the gifts. And I love your authenticity of how you're content with life. You're happy. You're doing what you love. And as you said, your sister brought in this beautiful child that's part of your family. And oh, it's so lovely to hear all this because, sometimes artists will have a flow state and then they'll say, oh, I'm blocked, or I can't do it
Yeah.
anymore. Now I love you. Let's talk about different cultures. Here's a beautiful painting you created. So we looked at Egypt, and of course, this is a deity from India. And yeah, I really love how you're honoring so many different parts and pieces. And I really do love this piece we were talking about motherhood, just the natural world. It's so fantastic. Um, and so when you paint, do you tend to paint in like a theme where like you'll paint a theme and a type of painting, and then maybe you'll wake up one day and you'll be like, or you'll complete that series and you go, oh, I'm going to now paint this style? Or does it kind of come to you in different waves? Because like for me, sometimes I'll make really relaxing ambient music, and then I'll just want to keep that momentum. And then I'll attend like an ecstatic dance or whatever. I'll go to Burning Man or I'll do some festival. Then I'll be like, oh, I want to create more upbeat music. So that's how I happen. Sometimes it's in cycles. Do you find that with your painting? So, for example, when you painted this piece, did you then paint another piece that had like a deity or some other imagery, or how does that work for you?
So my paintings comes like an inspiration in my life in the moment. So if I see something like it's like the most random things, like the most simple things in life for me will inspire me so much. Like I don't need to look for things; they just come to me. Like I literally like I can be walking and I can just turn around and get a glimpse of a boy like holding his mom like the leg in that moment. I can just like literally watch that and my soul awakes and I have my next painting just to see that. It will be like, oh my god, I need to paint a mother with a baby and how she gave us her life and how she feed us through like a mother earth thing. So it just like comes to me in the moment, and I can see the finished painting in my brain just for a glimpse of a normal thing in life. So I get inspired like so randomly and in the moment, and then I'm like, okay, this is my next painting, that's it, and I have to honor that. And then when I finish the painting, I'll just like maybe in the middle of the painting I get my other painting, like for example that one, that's Kali. And I went through like a very Kali type of energy when I was painting that. I knew I wanted to paint Kali. I don't know why. I saw a picture of her and I was just like, oh my god, I just need to put my hands on these colors and her energy. So when I start painting, like for example Kali, I went through this like craziness of like being Kali and being this woman that is like fearful and like not mad but kind of like empowered. So in all the month, I think I spent like maybe a month and a half doing Kali. I went through a Kali state. Like I embody my paintings in the moment when I'm doing them. I was like Kali. Like my sister is like, bro, chill. You're Kali. I'm like, I'm painting Kali. I am Kali right now. I'm embodying her. Honor that. I just get like in that energy state, and until I finish the painting, I stop being Kali. But I she stays with me. Like all my paintings are a part of me that I lived, and she stays with me and she's there. I mean, she doesn't have to come out a lot because she's kind of very too empowered. So yeah, it's just I go through these stages, and when I do babies, I go through this like right now. I just want to do babies because I'm like in this state of my life that I'm like being like a mom, like second mom. So I just want to do like paintings with this cosmic alien energy because I know that the other baby came from another cosmos. So that like thing that I just feel and the energy of playing with a human is just like a dance that I need to embody in that moment. So right now I'm like so tender because I'm doing a painting with an alien and I'm just kind of like, oh, so I go through these stages in every painting that I do, and I embody that. Like I'm an actor. Like like if I have to paint this, I have to embody the energy of
Yeah,
that.
I love that. Yeah, it's almost like you're reading a script for your own
Yeah.
ability to awaken parts and pieces of who you are. Yeah, and my beloved Himalaya, she's from India, and so she has led workshops before at Embody at our retreat center, and she'll have that Kali energy be
Yes.
a part of that, because then you release parts
Oh
of
yeah.
yourself that you didn't know may have been pent up. It's like roar. Sometimes you just have to
Yes.
roar and restore.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Oh, I love
Yeah. No,
that.
everybody has a Kali inside, and that's amazing. She should be there, kind of a little quiet, but she should come up and just like put boundaries as women. And like, yeah, the empowering of a woman for me, that's like a very important for me in this lifetime.
Hmm.
Just like that energy of like seeing women and honoring them, and kind of like see them, oh my god, they're just for me the most inspiration thing in the world, like being a feminine and being a mom and giving life to a baby. And just like watching all these women in the world, I'm just kind of like, oh my god, this, I'm just so honored to be a woman and to
Hmm.
see all the energy that as a woman we carry. It's amazing.
Yeah, so empowering because, there's the ability for you to wake up and be self-expressed and choose what you have as your day, right? And we know, like, for all human beings, not every person has ever woken up every day and said, I'm going to go to a waterfall. I'm going to go practice yoga for an hour and a half. So I love that
Yeah,
you have designed your life. And of course, it comes with, as you said, your childhood with some challenges of, maybe not being seen as quote unquote normal, but as
yeah,
like, it's a thing I like to tell people, especially if you're an entrepreneur, is like, first, they're going to call you crazy. Then
oh
when
yeah,
you have success, then they'll call you a genius.
yes, oh yeah, yeah. No, my dad actually, when I was painting, he say like, what do you want to do, like when you grow up, what are you going to study? And I was like, no, I'm going to be a painter. And then he's like, I mean, are you gonna make money? Like, what do you mean? Like, he was very judgy about it, and I was like, you know what? If I'm not gonna be something that I have to do in this life, like my call, I don't want to live in this world. Like, this is my call, and for me, it didn't make sense that I have to work for money or and not being my authentic self, like what I came here to do. So yeah, I was bullied a lot with my family and kind of like very different of just like, no, I'm doing this, and if it doesn't work, just like, okay, take me like that, I'm done. So they didn't understand my way of like just following what I my calling. So yeah, I put up with a lot of like my family and just always being the black sheep of my family, just like even to this day, like when you go to Christmas with your family, it triggers things that from your childhood, and I have to deal with it in the moment and see, and breathe and say, okay, this is in me. I mean, I'm working on this, and just being very present of the things that come up in the moment, because you really don't plan the things that come up, but you have to
Yeah.
honor them.
Hmm. Yeah, and every generation, just like your grandparents and your parents, and now our generation, and now the baby in your family, like everyone has their own life experiences. It was different growing up, I'm sure, for your
Yeah.
great
Oh yeah.
grandparents and your grandparents and now your parents and all these different, like, I live in a coffee region of Costa Rica, and pretty much the abuelos, bisabuelos, everyone just worked in the coffee farms. And like me being from the Midwest, people worked in the cornfields and different industries. So there's just a difference of your father's generation to watch you paint as, hey, are you going to like get a real job?
Yeah.
And you're like, I love how
Yeah.
you were so clear. I'm a painter and I will be a painter. And this is, here you are, a painter.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. No, totally.
so
Yeah.
great. Fantastic. So I want to share this flyer. We're going to get into question 5, which is your retreat. So you can see the dates: October 21st to the 25th, Awaken the Artist Within Retreat. So feel free to let us know what this retreat is going to be offering. Where is it located? And I know a lot of people that love you and love your sister would love to learn from what your retreat is offering. Awaken the Artist Within.
Yeah, well, we want to guide people. My sister is a very good tantra teacher. She's a coach of conscious relating. So she deals with a lot of with couples and bringing them in love again and working their inner traumas and their conscious, how they talk to each other. So she has been doing this for years. So we were like, oh my God, like we should do something together because we love each other so much and we have the best relationship. So I'm like, you know what? I want to show the world how can they in this time that people are so lost and all everything is changing, and we're like in times that we need to be like very in ourselves and kind of like spiritual, like in connection with ourselves and kind of like positive and everything. it's so chaotic that I'm like, you know what? I'm so in peace, and I have this thing that is called painting for me, that I would love to show the world how to be in touch with yourself and express pain, love, like everything, like trauma from childhood or breakups or divorce. How can you transmute that energy with the help of my sister, that she's good at that, with me, that I'm good at expressing and being in touch with myself and putting in a canvas? So we want to show people how you can deal with emotional release and the emotional things that comes into your life as and painting. And you don't have to be good at it. You don't have to paint good. Everybody's an artist for me. Every human, it's an artist. We're humans, and we're so lucky to be here. So we just have to express whatever we want in whatever way we want. We just need to put in a canvas for ourselves and be like, oh my god, and be in love with ourselves, painting and expressing, so you can see the magic that you have inside. And it's just, it is there, and you might give it away to the world, but you don't really see it. So we want to show people how can you create magic and see it and fall in love with you and kind of understand yourself more, and kind of like, yeah, view life as a gift, as an opportunity to kind of show yourself and play your music. We come to this life to play our music. So we don't want to die and not play nothing. So even if you have normal jobs and not and everything, you should play your music. What is it that you are? Who are you? Like, nobody's gonna judge you in a canvas. You're gonna paint yourself, your energy. It's So we want to guide people and invite people to come with us and paint and discover ourselves and kind of like dig inside, like what is it there that is painful, and nobody's gonna judge us, and we can just express without our mind and our programs that we it keeps coming every day and blocking us for ourselves. So yeah, just an invitation to everybody who is have the call to come and be in love with yourself again and be a kid and just, yeah, change your life. And you go home and you just start painting as an outlet to see yourself and be in love with yourself, because that's the most important thing. Be in love with yourself is the first thing you need to be in love with others or give yourself to others. It starts with you.
Yes. It's an inside job, right? It's
It's an inside job.
yeah, every day we get to punch the clock in and be like, okay, what's those
Yes.
parts and pieces within me that I get to remember? And sometimes, as we know, when you're painting and when the gifts that your sister is offering as well, there's tools now that you have that you know how to interpret the emotions and the feelings. And I put up here a list of the benefits that your retreat is going to be offering to
Yes.
transform, right, to awaken the inner child, that part of us that maybe we didn't get to explore,
Yeah.
um, and the ancestral trauma, and what does that process look like to heal that and to allow for you to create a brand new paradigm, right? Like every day we get to reinvent our lives if we choose to. And there are a lot of
Yes.
people that don't have the tools that you and your sister have together to bring that to life. So,
Yes. Yes.
what a beautiful offering. And I'm so grateful that you're here to share about it. And so, how would people sign up for the retreat? Because I know people are really excited that are watching right now.
Yeah, you can go to my Instagram or my website, and I have the link there, or respiratuamor.com. That's my sister's website, and we're like doing all these videos for people to sign in and kind of gather like like not a small but kind of medium group, and have everybody together and kind of like do our magic together in Mexico. Eating amazing food. We're gonna do yoga every day. Yeah, we're gonna have so many activities. That is gonna be an amazing retreat. I'm so
Mm.
excited. I mean, I'm so excited to just teach people how can you put you can open a door to see another world that you might not even think is possible.
Hmm. I know Maya, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's a colleague in the music industry. Yeah,
Yes, she's
yeah, she's
amazing.
very talented. I love
Yes,
that. Our communities are connected in all the
I
ways.
know.
Beautiful. Well, as you can see up above here, you can go to lisetealcalde.art to find more art. I know you do customs as well. If someone reached out and if they wanted a vision, you can do a custom painting.
Yeah, I'm doing because a lot of people wants to be like a goddess, and they want to do mother. They want to be Mother Earth, and they're like, I want to have my face on it. I want to be Gaia. I am Mother Earth. I see myself as a butterfly. Oh my God, I have a connection with Kali. I want to be this being, this alien, or like this cosmic goddess. So a lot of people have reached out to me to say like, hey, I want to do costume, and I'm like, yeah, I do costume. So I don't I think that people don't know this, but I do custom of like whatever you want, like your face. I paint a lot of people. Sometimes I don't share them because I want them to be private because like they're paintings for like clients that I do, and I don't want to put them in social media because there's their own like thing. So, but I wanna tell people that you can be whoever you want, and I can paint you babies or like yeah, I painted I have two nieces, so my other niece, she was born with a little thing here since she was born. So I was just kind of like, she's a unicorn. She was a unicorn, and she just
Hmm.
they took that off, and I painted her like a unicorn, and kind of like, oh, I want to go play in the world, but she was a unicorn. So I always told her that, and I did a painting that she was a unicorn. Now she doesn't have a lot; she just have a little dot, but she loved that, and she's always telling everybody like she was a unicorn. So I paint things like that, like just kind of like the magic world behind, like who are we, and marks that we have. Just honoring everything that our human experience in all the way possible.
Mm, I love that. Yeah, because you're really honoring that part of us. Because, as you were sharing at the beginning of the podcast, we're these souls, we're these energy beings that get into these like bodies, right? And then the
Yeah.
bodies come in different shapes and forms and sizes.
Yes.
And it's all perfect because we're here, we're alive, we get to have this journey. And I love how your painting can really bring the um, the beauty of what's possible, like the unicorn energy, right? These like spirit animals that we get to tap into.
Yes.
And it's like, yeah, you get to embody that. And then that's a part of who you are. And you can remember that. Besides it
Yeah.
having some past story, you can reinvent the ideas through art. And it sounds like your retreat, you and your sister are going to really synergize to provide an experience for, maybe people that haven't been to Mexico, right? Like to have people come to Latin America. Everyone out there knows I live in Costa Rica, so I live in Latin America. There's a whole other energy that, in tropical, it's just gorgeous. So I love that your retreat's going to have the yoga and the healthy eating and different workshops and experiences. So
Yeah.
that's fantastic. All right. Do you have any closing words before we say goodbye?
Yeah, I just want to let you people to love themselves the way they are. We're perfect, and we're just going through this journey called life, and it's fun. You should be having fun, and you should be happy. Nothing that is happening really. It's just in your mind, and just kind of like go inside again, go back to yourself, and see the magic, fall in love with yourself, and it will be reflected in your other life. And this is we're lucky to be here and to play this human life and it's funny if you think about it. It's just like everything that we do is just kind of funny, and how we look is kind of funny. You're like, oh my God. And then we go to sleep, we dream all these crazy things, and we're like, this is just a little trip. Like, what is my dreams and what is life? Like, question yourself, like, who am I, what am I doing here? And kind of like love yourself. That's so important for me, to just go and love it yourself and do things for yourself. Play with your inner child, do crazy things. Don't, if you want to say something, say it. Like, Who cares about people talking about you? Who cares about the haters? Who cares about these negative things? Just be you as you are, because you are perfect. So I just want to let everybody know that they're perfect just the way they are, with all the darkness, with all the shadows, with all the quoting bad things. We are perfect because we are perfect from inside. The other thing doesn't matter. It's just like a little fun thing we do called life. So yeah, that's it.
Mm, yes. 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 Everything is perfect.com.
Yes.
Todo. Solo bueno. In Costa Rica,
Solo
everyone else.
bueno.
So yeah,
Solo
solo bueno.
blessing.
That's all. We get to have that gratitude and we get to feel connected. And you are such an inspiration. And I know that people that are watching live or on the archive are going to have that question within themselves, like planting the seeds of, hey, I used to love to do this when I was younger, but I never had the opportunity because, I
Yeah.
chose a different path. Or they maybe listened to their parents that said, hey, you're going to get a real job. Okay, dad, I'll get a real job. Or okay, mom, I'll do that, or whatever the situation. But I love how you can at any time, as long as you're alive, I assume everyone watching this is still alive. You have the opportunity. And one of my
Yeah.
favorite verbs in Spanish, because you can't really translate it in English, is aprovechar, right?
Yes.
And that's like this,
Yes.
it's like almost like Latin when you say seize the day, carpe diem,
Yes.
like just
Yes.
go for it. And and my friend Chris, who's a big fan of my music, she just stated here, yes,
Mm.
yes, such amazing words. I know she's now a fan of your art and who you are. So thank you so much, Lisette. I appreciate your presence, your energy, so many blessings.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
so much.
everyone.
Thank you so much for this opportunity and everything that you do. You are an inspired person in this world, and your music is so amazing. And it helps me to paint a lot of things that I painted. I put your music, and I just like, oh my God, this is amazing. It transformed me to a lot of things that I do. So thank you for playing your music, because you're doing the thing that you're supposed to in this world.
Absolutely. Oh, thank you for receiving the music. And yeah, those of you that don't know who I am, you can check out there. And I'll complete with a beautiful song called Universe Incarnate that Ashira Soul and I created. So thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Been traveling across oceans of time.